Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mr. Riley coming to you live from the West Coast, the best coast, the West Side. Well, today I have another student athlete, but you're going to have to check it out. You're going to have to stay tuned. We're going to have some fun with this one, my man, number 25. And if you know who wears number 25, then you know who I'm talking about. So stick around, and after the intro, we'll talk to number 25, and maybe we'll find out where that inspiration for wearing number 25 comes from. But you have to stick around. All right. And welcome to another episode of This Week in Pali Football.
Hey, win on me, win on three, ready, 1, 2, 3. Win! Oh, yeah! Stop playing with a piece! 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 Stop playing with a piece!
Some call it the gridiron.
Nice run, way to skim it.
Others, 100 yards of pay.
Too much.
We just like to call it football.
Football.
With Facebook James.
Football, baby.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is, I guess you could still call me Facebook James. It's Mr. Riley coming to you live from the West Coast, the best coast, the West Side. Happy Wednesday evening. Man, it has been a long day. I know that we were supposed to go on at 6 o'clock. We had to switch it around because real life hits. And your boy had a teacher's meeting after school that kind of ran a little bit longer. We've been at school all day. We've been at a teacher's meeting for a couple of hours. Then we ran straight here because I was so excited to talk to our guest tonight. So hopefully you're doing well. I'm kind of hungry. I need dinner, but we'll figure it out. So welcome to another episode of This Week in Pali Football. And like I said in the beginning, I am your host, Mr. Riley, or Facebook James, whatever you call me. Just do not call me late for dinner. All right. So let's go ahead and hop in tonight. So we have scheduled several student athletes who are planning to come and be a part of the live stream. And so last week we had Jaden Williams, a receiver, senior. We kind of talked about him and just his coming to become a football player at Pali as a transfer student. So we talked about him transferring from Westchester, coming to Pali, and what Pali football was all about for his last 2 years of high school. And now tonight we have, I like this dude. This dude is pretty cool. He's played varsity for 2 years, and he plays on the defense, and I love defensive players, especially from Pali. All my boys played defense. I think they also played a little offense too, but their main thing, at least for my last two sons, they loved defense. And so we have another defensive player tonight in the person of Jake Tri-Batch. So let's go ahead and bring on Mr. Tri-Batch, and let's welcome him to the show. What's going on, sir?
How's it going?
It's going great, man. Let me go ahead and give you... Jake, my man, is in the house, and we're not talking about Jake from State Farm, man. What's going on, sir? How are you feeling?
I'm doing great. Happy to be here. Thank you.
Hey, man, thanks for joining me. Hey, first of all, I have to say thank you for being patient with me. I know that we were supposed to go on a little bit earlier, but life happens, man. Life happens, and you'll come to understand it. I'm sure you've probably experienced
Absolutely.
it already.
Yes,
but I'm just glad that you had the patience and that you're hanging out with me tonight. How you feeling, man? How was your day?
Yeah, my day was great. Just got a couple workouts in. We had our football class at 6 period today, so we got after it there, getting ready for our little test day on Friday, and then I had my training today. So I got after it today.
Okay, so let's go ahead and one of the things that we kind of talked about it at the top of the show. Now, defensively, you wear the number 25. And
Number 5.
So, what is your inspiration for 25? What is the story behind?
So last year I wore 26. This year I wore number 5. So it's a little confusing.
Okay, so I'm confused then. So you wore 5 this year?
Number 5 this year, 26 last year.
Listen, man. See, I told you it was a long day.
Yeah, no worries. No worries.
Okay, so let's go ahead. Last year, you wore 26, and I'm envisioning uh, the number in your picture. What was the inspiration by wearing or for wearing number 26 last year? Is there a story?
I mean, to be honest, I really did like number 5. One of the seniors, Jovan, he had number 5 last year, so that's all him. That's his number. He got that 26. I don't know, just like something just stood out to me. I really did like that number. I felt like it was between that and 28, and I was like, I'm gonna just go 26. I think I'm gonna just ride with this one, and we're gonna see where it takes me.
Absolutely. And then number 5. So you wore it this year proudly. Now I'm assuming that you're going to wear it again next year.
Yes, sir. Yeah, and that was because of my dad. He wore number 5. He wore it in college, and so like I also just like number 5. Like I think it's just a cool number. So that's my
Absolutely.
number. I'm riding with that one till the very end.
So we can throw a whole bunch of cliches, a chip off the old block, like father, like son. Now your dad is a
Mhm.
pretty, he's a pretty big dude. I know your dad. Shout out to your dad.
Yeah.
Did he play football?
Yes, sir. He played at Northridge back in the
Okay.
day. He broke the tackle record for I'm pretty sure it was D2 or D1 double A, something like that. But he led the nation in tackles for that division, and yeah, he was a baller.
So he got after it.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. Okay. So you're definitely trying to follow. So he played linebacker then.
Yeah, he played linebacker high school, and then he moved to strong safety in college.
Okay. Now your position,
Hmm.
you play linebacker, right?
Yes, sir,
Now,
linebacker.
how long have you been playing linebacker?
So it really just started when I switched over to varsity from JV because at JV I started at defensive end, and so but I was pretty light, so I was like, you know what, I think I got to move back a little bit. Like I still want to be in the action, but I can't be on the line. It's just like not it right now. So Coach Reed put me in D line, and that's where I just stuck there, and I love it.
Got you. So, before we hop into the varsity story, were you one of the last students to play under Coach Marsden?
Yes, sir, I was. Yeah, that was Marston's last year coaching JV.
What is he like as a JV coach?
I love Marsden. He was the first guy I met when coming into Pali, so it was great. He was a great mentor, like great coach. That team was definitely unforgettable. It was the perfect way to start high school. I'll never forget the memories. Just he would try so hard to get us games because back then it was right when COVID ended, so it was really hard to get games, especially on JV because like the teams would just cut the JV team. So he worked really hard, and I really appreciate him for that.
Absolutely. No, Coach Coach Marsden is the goat. I love that dude. I mean, just super dope, super nice, and a lot of the boys attribute just especially if they've never played football before, just building their football IQ in terms of just I mean, because you got guys who've never put on pads before, never put on the helmet and the jersey and all the other stuff that goes with it, just the basics. And
Mhm.
but also you have those experienced guys who've played Pop Warner, and so they kind of know. And so you bring them all, on the ninth grade team, fresh in high school. What some of the coaches would say, fresh behind or wet behind the ears, trying to
Mhm.
understand what high school is all about, and then wanting to go out for football. And he was the main coach. I mean, and just seeing uh, the maturity that goes on from the first day of practice all the way to the end. Um, what is one of the best memories that you have about Coach Marsden? Coaching you in your freshman season at Pali.
So freshman year, that was yeah. So we were playing with a couple sophomores because they didn't get their first freshman year because of COVID. And after one of the practices early on, he was just like he was getting us straight because I never put on pads, right? So it was definitely an adjustment from like flag football or whatever I was doing before that. So he was just getting us hyped, like probably first week or whatever. We're just running around, people looking silly, like new pads, right? He's just locking us in. Just it was so fun. Just everyone just getting to hit for the first time. He's hype, and we're all just doing drills. And probably that summer before freshman year, that's one to remember, yes, sir.
Yeah, that was, he's a pretty dope dude, and like again, I love all the guys, just their stories from starting off, like you said, personally, you said you hadn't put on pads before, so you had you had to understand how to put on pads and all the other stuff, but now you're kind of like a big thing on campus, man. I mean, I'm sure you kind of bulked up a little bit, you got a little muscle, and you big man on campus now, right? So now you just finished your junior year, but even before we get into all that stuff, man, let me just ask you some real easy questions, and then we're going to talk about a little bit more about football. um Favorite subject at Pally?
Favorite subject? I'm a big history guy. Big
Okay.
history guy. Big, that's me.
Okay, now what's your favorite time period as it relates to history?
Not sure. Probably. I mean, I'm really into like the war, like kind of like all that, like just more recent history, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. Probably like last like 100 years would have to be like what I'm interested in.
Okay, all right, that's cool. um Favorite teacher on campus?
Favorite teacher? Probably my history teacher, Mr. Sugden. He's new first year, but he's always had some music going on. Class is fun. Just great atmosphere.
Okay. All right. Favorite place to hang out near Pally, either after the games or during the week after practice. What was your favorite place? What's your go-to spot when you're hungry and you just want to hang out with some friends?
Yeah, so I'd have to say for after practice, we always used to frequent Chipotle. We got a couple guys that work there, so we get after it over there, get that big food. But man,
Was it
after
free,
games,
Jake? Was it free food? Did you
no,
pay
never
for it,
free,
Jake?
never free. No, we work for it. We work for it. But yeah,
Okay.
we'd all go there. We'd hang out, a bunch of people's houses locally. It's just love hanging out with the guys. It's just great time.
Absolutely. Um, Top five players, your dogs on the team.
Ooh, my
You're gonna
dogs.
do it.
That's a big
See,
question.
I started to say top three, but I kind of gave you a little bit more leeway, right? So you got, you know, your favorite people to hang out with, man.
Man, my favorite people to hang out with. I mean,
Top five.
top five. They're all completely equal. I mean, because I hang
Okay,
out with all of them. We're all
that's
part of a
fine.
big friend group.
Just give me five.
Man, it'd probably go Cash, Jesse, Joseph, Brett, Cole, Rowan, Josh. That might be a little more than five, but I gotta cover my bases here.
I was about to say, look, man, I'm an elementary teacher, and last time that was about seven people, man. So
Hey man,
you
I
know,
just love hanging around my friends.
no, that's all good. I mean, you gotta know you guys when you go in the trenches, when you're on the field, battling, doing what you need to do, and so no, that's cool. And of course, you're gonna hang out with your dudes that you go to war with every Friday night. So that's super dope. Um,
Right, it does, yeah.
Xbox or PlayStation?
Xbox all the way.
Oh man, what's your favorite game?
Madden.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
okay. Why Xbox, man? Because most of the players say PlayStation.
That's I guess just what I grew up with. I think I got my first Xbox for like a Christmas or my birthday when I was like way young. So I've just kind of stuck around that. That's what I'm familiar
Gotcha.
with.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, it's either like your team Android or team Apple. So once you kind of stick with a gaming system, then you're going to ride it too. But now some people, they're fortunate enough they'll get both Xbox and PlayStation, right?
Yeah.
I think most of my kids I think with PS I think all
Yeah.
the boys, Sir has a PlayStation, Xavier has one, Sai has one, and I think even my daughter has a hand-me-down PlayStation 4, which I was trying to get for
Yeah.
one of the kids, but they're like, "No, Dad, you don't need it." I'm like, "Come on, man! I need a gaming system. That'd be
Right?
pretty
Come on
dope
now.
right here. I could just sit and kind of play games." But anyway, all right. So now that's cool. That's I just kind of wanted to get to know you just a little bit better. All right, let's go back to football, man.
Yeah.
So your first year last year, on varsity.
Yes,
What
sir.
was that experience like for you? I mean, being, brand new, fresh off of JV, you had the COVID kind of transition year, the year that Marsden kind of fought hard to find, teams. I think you guys played Banning. You played a team from oh man, what was it?
Newberry Park, yeah.
Newberry Park. Yes. I mean,
Yeah.
it was like, okay, we don't have a team on Wednesday, but by Friday, you guys had a team and you were either traveling or you played a game. So what was your first year as a varsity player like for you? Just trying to understand your position and all that kind of good stuff.
Yeah, so I was fortunate enough to I got pulled up about, I want to say it was like halfway through the junior varsity season. So I was able to meet the coaches, kind of be around the older guys, like get a feel. And it was definitely different. It was a lot faster, a lot more physical. I mean, the guys are a lot bigger than JV. So, me walking up there a little like 155 Jake, like just, getting destroyed by some of these senior kids, just, but it was great. And then, so luckily when I was able to get up there as a sophomore, I kind of had a feeling like I knew, Coach Reed, a couple of like high cues there. So I was able to kind of like slide in a little like, it was as much of a drastic like adjustment.
Absolutely. Let me pause real quick, my man. We have a couple of people watching. And so let me go ahead and just acknowledge them really, really quick. So we have Cole Ward. What's going on, Cole? He says, go number 5. He's a beast. Let me just kind of fix that just a little bit. So Cole, thank you for watching, big man. And is that the big lineman? Is that the big lineman,
Yes, sir.
Cole?
That's
Man,
big Cole. That's big Cole.
Cole's a funny dude. Cole is a funny dude. I like him too. I like Cole.
We love Cole.
Annabeth is
We
here.
gotta
She
have him on.
says, "Go, Jake." Hi, James. Hey, Annabeth. How you feeling? Thank you for tuning in. And then Cole says, Xbox on top. And then Diego says, facts. Now, I'm not too sure what you're talking about, facts, but hey, facts is facts, right? We stand on business over here, Diego. So I
Yeah,
appreciate
we
you.
stand on business.
And then she says, Cash is here too. So, Cash, what's going on, man? We might be trying to reach out to you too. I don't know. We'll see, man. But anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. And let's go ahead and get back to some of these questions over here. So, you had your first big experience being called up, your sophomore year, correct? Sophomore year?
Yes, sir. Sophomore
Okay,
year.
so you had to make some adjustments. You had to get your weight up. Uh, now, is there any one play in particular that kind of welcomed you into playing varsity football at Pali?
I would say definitely that freshman year when we got pulled up was more of a welcome because so it was me and Cash. We got pulled up, and Cash. I was playing like safety or something back then, and Cash was a linebacker. And there were a couple times that like I'd just get just slammed by like Hugo or Savior, or just something would happen, and Cash would be like, "Oh my god!" Like, and then he'd get slammed, and then at me, and it was just like back and forth. So probably the first practice on varsity was just brutal, but got to
Yeah.
get over that.
Yeah, and then you kind of learn the system a little bit. It's like, okay, this is what it's going to be every day, so I got to bring my A game. And then you kind of made the transition. Let's go ahead and jump all the way over to your junior year to last year, and let's just kind of talk about the former um, Coach Hyde, Coach Tim Hyde would always say, what's the mindset? As a former Marine, and my sons would always talk about, some of his sayings. But one of the sayings that I took from them was like the mindset, the mindset. What was your mindset going into your junior year? Did you have any goals? What aspirations did you have for your team? But more importantly, what aspirations or goals did you have for yourself?
Yeah, so I'd have to say, for myself, I really just I wanted to lead the team in tackles or just get like as many like just as close to 100. That's kind of my mindset is just as close to 100. This year we got about 70, so or 66 or something like that. So it was all right. I feel like there's definitely room for improvement. And then for the team, I think we all kind of agreed that we want to win that. We want that championship. We want to be the first team, but that it's a really hard it's a hard goal to accomplish. So we were lucky enough to make the open division, and I felt like that was a pretty good accomplishment. I still think we can go a little deeper into the playoffs, but I think we're just looking to next year.
Yeah, man, it's funny that you talk about some of your stats. So I just happened to pull up Max Preps, and I'm over here looking at some of your stuff. So let me go ahead and rattle off some of your bio things in your bio. So your bio says you're Cal High Sports All States Junior outside linebacker.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
so that's a good recognition right there. Let's see, for 2022, All City Open Division Junior outside linebacker. Um, and then 2023 All Western League Junior outside linebacker. Um, Looks like for 23 and 22. So you got little accolades going on. Let's see what else. Now I'm also looking on here. It says that you played volleyball.
Yes,
Is that
sir.
right? See, I didn't
Yes,
know that.
sir.
So how does a football player stumble onto the volleyball court?
Man, I must got lost somewhere because I was not meant to be there.
And not only were you there, you were the JV captain.
Yes, sir, I was.
Okay, so were you guys any good that year?
Yeah, so freshman year, football just ended. Me and my dad were talking. We're like, hey, like we gotta look college. They want to see two sport athletes, and I love football. Like that's what I want to do. But I'm like, hey, I want to switch it up. I want to because I was thinking about lacrosse. Like I played lacrosse middle school. Like that was what I kind of liked. But I was like, you know what? I don't want to be hitting all year. Like let me try out volleyball because my dad also played volleyball in high
Okay.
school. He loved it, so he's like, you should try this out. So I tried it out, and I loved it. Like freshman year, it was the greatest time. Just meeting all like new friends, new coaches. Just I'm so glad I did it.
So I'm looking at looks like right now you were the player of the game on October 22nd. That would be your sophomore year.
Might have been, yes, sir.
It was against Westchester. So you were
Hmm.
selected as the player of the game. So that's pretty cool. But no, I had no idea that you played volleyball. Now, have you stopped playing? Do you plan to pick it up again, or you just gonna really focus all of your attention on football?
Yeah, so I played up until last year. So that was my sophomore year. I played with Roman. We were just getting after it. But this year, I just decided I got to take a little more time and kind of focus on the whole football aspect of my career. And then who knows what's going to happen senior year? Maybe I'll come back. We'll see what happens.
Got you. Okay, so let me run over. I'm just gonna pull up on some of your stats real quick. So I will just clicking on your awards. So let's see. So you had a pretty decent year. And let me see if I can just show you what I'm looking at, and you might be able to see it as well. Let me see if I have my capability to show. Do a screen share over here, and if we are, you want to see your stats? Of
Yeah,
course, you
let's
already know what
go.
you already know what they look like, right?
Man, I look at it all the time.
Okay, so I think I have this where we can both hang out on the screen. So let's see what happens. Okay, so
Okay,
there we
yeah.
go. You kind of right there in the circle. There you go. See, man, look at you. That's why I like you, man. You're thinking on the fly. I was like, you know what? Pull that camera up, and you kind of did it. All right, here we go. So aside from this Jack in the Box or Queen Dairy Queen commercial, so it looks like you have. Let me fix it so where you guys can see it. Let me make that adjustment right there. There you go. So 22, 23, you had about 82 tackles, right? You played in 14 games, which is
Hmm.
pretty dope as a sophomore. Junior year, looks like you went from, you might have had some injuries last year.
Yeah. So this last year we played only 9 regular season games because our uni game got canceled,
Yes.
along with a bye because we were in the open division for playoffs, and then the year before that we played it was 3 playoff games and the championship game. So we played around just 4 extra games. So that I think that definitely had something to do with it.
Absolutely, it did, man. I mean, and going to the championship last year, man. How was that for you, man? What was that experience like for you? You had success against all those teams in the playoff. We had a couple of home. I think we played just about all of our games at home. What was that like for you, man? Just to be on that championship team to get to the championship. Now, of course, we know ultimately that we didn't do too well. They had this other guy who was a really, really good running back, and so I'm not even gonna call his name, but no, he was just running left and right, up and down. He was like a one of those guys on the video machine on the video game. But what was it like for you to go to the championship first of all? And then what did you take away from it that kind of made you focus for this past season?
Yeah, so just getting there was, just a battle. 14 games, like everyone's hurting by, week 10. Like you just gotta keep pushing. Couldn't have done it with like obviously like the seniors. You got like Xavier, Amari, they're huge game changers. You got Jovan, Emmanuel, like they were just, they really helped us along with like just like rest of the defense. It was crazy because when we were there, me, Cash, and Jesse, all sophomore linebackers. Like that's very rare to see. So just to be out there with those guys was great. But obviously we didn't accomplish what we wanted.
Now, what and you keep mentioning some of the seniors, some of the upperclassmen when you were an underclassman, man. You know, being involved in that championship game, I'm sure it kind of, I know it hurt. I know it firsthand because my boy, my son played on the team, and so he took it kind of hard, and so
Yeah.
just like this year, I'm sure you guys took the loss to Gardena kind of hard. You guys wanted to do well, especially with coach, a new coach on the squad. So let's kind of look into the future just a little bit, okay? How will the past two playoff losses, and by losses I mean the Gardena and to Granada Hills, how will that shape your mindset going into the season that is right now? We don't want to necessarily wait until the fall to talk about the fall season.
Mhm.
As soon as the playoff games are over, you know, it's like, all right, season's back on. Time to get ready. So, what is your mindset just preparing for next year and the next games for your senior season?
Yeah, so I mean, we're starting off pretty hot. Probably the best start we've had in a couple years. With six periods, excuse me. uh, we're getting after it. We got my dad's helping out with sixth period a little bit, so we're putting these boys through some work. Like we're trying to put some muscle, put some meat on those bones, get after it. But with the losses for the playoff games, like it's just more motivation. Like we're just working for more. We just want more. Like all these guys, like it's something I've never seen before. Like these guys, they take it. They're like, we want to take it and work with it. So I wouldn't view it as a bad thing for losing those games. Obviously, we want to go farther, but it's just more motivation, more fuel to the fire, if you will.
Absolutely. And then since next year you will be one of those senior guys, and then reflecting on some of the previous guys that you've had on your squad, what leadership qualities will you take and try to help instill on the underclassmen who are going to ride with you next year on that football field?
Yeah. So first comes to mind is Braden. I've known Braden since I don't know, maybe fifth or sixth grade. We'd go train with Coach Todd, just way back in the day, years ago. And so he's always just big vocal guy. Like if you gotta get something done, like you get it done. Like you're only holding like everyone else back, and we can't have that. So he was definitely someone I look up to. Evan also. Evan was as vocal, but he would just put in that work, and so it automatically gave him a bunch of credibility. So kind of a mix of those two, really just that's definitely it. Just put in the work, but get after some of these guys because like when it's time to go, it's time to go.
Absolutely. I just want to stop real quick, and I just want to acknowledge this person right here. Now, this is Melissa Flynn. Melissa Flynn says, "Hi from Rowan," and then she says, "We love you, Jake. Your hair looks great." Melissa, thank you for the comment, and we appreciate you watching, and of course, letting Jake know that his hair looks great, man. What do you attribute your hair to, man?
Probably my dad. My dad loves his hair. No, I'm playing. I don't know. Just gotta look good.
Absolutely. Now you talk about your dad a lot, man. What is it about your dad that that you enjoy? Obviously, it looks like you want to be like him. I mean, you're kind of wearing the same number, you play in the
Mhm.
same position, so obviously there's a close tie there between you and your dad. So how does he kind of shape um, help you during this time as you're, he was a Division One football player. Uh, again, talk about that relationship that you have with your dad and helping you prepare for your final season at Pali.
Yeah, so I mean, probably we'd always work out a little bit together. Like flag football, he was always coaching. Like we are always getting after it. But definitely once high school started, we started. You know, we were lifting together. We put a gym together in our house. Like he's always been there, spotting me. Like and he has that mindset of, like, if you want it, you got to go get it. Like that's it. You know, you just got to put in that work, and whatever happens happens. But at least you gave it your all. So that's kind of we frequent that mindset. And then he's training. We got him at the sixth period, just help out. And, it's just great to have him there. Just get after some of these guys in a way that we haven't been able to.
No, absolutely. That's having parental support like that. Of course, you got your coaches, and we'll talk about Coach Dylan Smith in a second. But to have the outside help from parents like your dad. When my boys were there, of course. Now my boys they didn't drive, right, and so we live kind of far away, and so I'm like, oh man, y'all got practice. Because guess who's got to wake up and take them to practice, right, on a Saturday
Yeah,
morning at 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning? I'm like, man. But it's because of their dedication. Like, Dad, I need to be here, this amount of time. Okay. Right. And so we're going to do anything, parents are going to do. Not only dads, moms will also go. We have wonderful supporters who are moms who are help feeding the boys, week in and week out, go shopping and things of that nature. So, definitely that's one thing I love about Pally football is the parental support that we have. It's probably like no other. And I really mean that because when I talk to some of my friends who have their kids in other football programs across the city, they're always struggling in terms of parent support and fundraising and things of that nature. And I'm just over there just twiddling my thumbs, whistling like, hey, it ain't like that at Pally, man. We got fathers, we got dads, we got aunties, uncles who are always in the trenches helping guys out. And so, that's the mindset that, parents have. And I'm glad that your dad really sees that you're invested. And because he sees you being invested, he's going to do everything he can to make sure that you're successful on the football field. So let me ask you a question then. Uh, you talked about training. How often, now I know you got your 6 period class, and you said your dad kind of helps out with that. Besides that, is there any other training that you undergo throughout the week?
yeah. So I'll go to my lifting guy. So he's at Deuce Gym down in Venice. So I'll go there about 3 times a week. We just get after it, big weights, just whatever we can. And then I try to get out to some speed training or just on my own a couple times a week, just as often as I can. Like, it's my senior year. I'm putting it all out there. Like, there's no reason to hold anything back.
Absolutely. Now, you might know this person, Julie Jeffries Tribatch. She says, his dad is great, but he got his hair from his mama.
I mean, I
Okay,
guess I
well,
did. Yeah.
hey, we'll take that. I mean,
Thank you.
it's all good. It's all those genes. Going back to, well, we don't want to turn this into a science class, but yes, absolutely, he gets the tenacity from dad, the athletic ability, and he got that wonderful grade of hair from mom. No, we'll take that. Julie, thanks for joining us. I love your mom. Your mom is she's so funny. She's so funny. So true story. She was wanting me to live stream during the championship game. Now, I know the commissioner, and she was like, "Look, I'm gonna let you on the field, but you better not live stream the game." I'm like, "Oh, dang it, okay." And I felt like a fish out of water because I couldn't do what I wanted to do because folks were hitting me up. Hey, you going live on the Pali? I'm like, I can't. And I think either you guys had some neighbors. I think it's the Lawrence family.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay,
Yeah.
see. And so she was like, "Yeah, we got family and friends trying to tune in, and you can't go live." I'm like, "No, I can't. I get in trouble." But then I know this year during some of the games, she's like, "Hey, when you go live, can you just shout out our neighbors, the Lawrence family?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, absolutely." She's like, "Yeah, they're our neighbors, and I think she said they're kind of elderly, but they love the football and they love Jake. And can
They
you just
love it.
shout them out?" I was like,
They watch it
"Absolutely."
all.
Yeah, yeah. So your mom is, I like talking to your mom. She's really, really cool. And then Melissa Flynn, she says 100%. And I'm believing she's talking about just the relationship that you have with your dad and parents going all out for for their kids. And then Nicole Powell Smith said, yes, he did. So I'm not too sure. Yes, he did what he did for you to say that, but yes, he did. We'll we'll take it. We'll
We'll
go
take it.
for
We'll take it.
it. And then Casey Lascala says, "Looking good, Jake. Man, what about me? I can't get no love. I mean, it's all about Jake. See, Jake, we're gonna have to do we're gonna have to do something together again, man. Because you getting all the accolades tonight, dude."
Come on now, let's go.
All right, so let's kind of wind down a little bit, man. So senior year, you're coming up. You got your proper mindset, and then this year. Well, let's finish before we hop back into senior year. This year, your junior year, man, you had this guy brand new to Pali come through, and he was chosen to lead the team. And Coach Smith hopped on the scene, man. Uh, what did you first? And you can just tell me it's between you and I. All right. What did you think? Your first impression with about Coach Smith? I ain't gonna tell nobody, but what was your first impression?
Absolutely. No. He Coach was an offensive guy, so I was always hanging with Reed a little bit, but I love Coach Smith. He puts in so much for this program. He's there all the time. He's a great guy. We would not have the success we had this season without him. He's just been great, and just I love having him around, and it's just fun.
No, he absolutely. And for a guy to come into the program and get us to the playoffs like we did, I think it's we tip our hat. He was a coach, Chargers coach of the week 1 week during the
Yes, it
season,
was. Yeah.
and then ultimately he was also chosen as the Western League Coach of the Year. So I think because of what he instilled in you guys, and yeah, I know he's an offensive minded coach, but he still came out there. I think he's a players coach and or let me ask. Let me just ask. Let me not assume. Jake, is Coach Smith a player's coach?
Absolutely, I would say yeah. He's definitely advocating for us. He's pushed us to be great. We love to have him around. He's exactly what we need.
Absolutely. Let me so let me dig back into some of these comments real quick. Annabeth says, James, you're the host with the most. Thank you, Annabeth. And then Casey Lascala says, you always look good, James. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you. Appreciate
There
you.
we go. There we go.
I was like, whoa, man, you getting all the. I was like, man, maybe you should come over here to the studio and host the show, Jake.
Facebook Jake doesn't sound too bad. I mean,
Hey, absolutely. That's what I'm saying. Okay, so Coach Smith, he comes in, he gets you guys to the playoff. You couldn't quite get over the hump. But then most of your dealings is with Coach Reed and the defensive coaches. Talk about Coach Reed and just his impact upon you and the rest of the linebacking core because you guys are some goons. I mean, you got Jesse who was all over the place last year. Jesse, if you're watching, let me see. Maybe I should go to. I'm not gonna go solo. Jesse, if you're watching, man, I need that same tenacity that you had last season. I need you, bro. I need you. So you got Jesse, you got Cash, you got yourself, you got Cole. I mean, you guys have a whole, and then you got the young boy. You got the young boy Isaiah.
yeah, he's
Yeah,
nice with
man,
it.
y'all. I'm gonna hang around and see what y'all do
Come
because
on
you
now.
guys got some players. But anyway, let me go back to to my question. So you got me excited. Talk about Coach Reed and just his impact on the defensive squad, especially the linebacking group?
Yeah, so that season of my freshman year, me and Cash got pulled up, and the first guy we met was Coach Reed. So he was definitely like he eased the transition. Like we could not have done it without him. Um, the next year, when it was me, Jesse, Cash, just linebackers, he ran that defense like with Coach Hajduk, but we would definitely not have gotten to where we are or where we were without him. He put so much in just everything he did was just helped us because we were young, so he needed to coach us up quick and kind of get us with the program. So I think we would not be as successful or where we are right now without him.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I don't want to get into it too much. We know the program is going through some changes right now, so I expect nothing less for you guys next season or this year in the fall to just lay it out there. I'm gonna be with you every step of the way, or just about not every step of the way, but I'll be there for a lot of times. But you're using, and let's just kind of talk about just preparing with the 7-on-7s. I believe you guys have a couple of tournaments. I know there's some tournaments happening this summer. Your off-season training. Um, um, there was a question I had, and I can't think of it. Sometimes that happens when you get double nickel, but it's all
Hey,
good,
you're
man.
good.
It's all good.
Hey,
Um,
yeah,
talk about here's a question. Talk about some of the guys. I kind of alluded to a couple of moments ago. You got Cash. Um, You got Jesse. Um, is Rowan? He has another year, right?
yeah. Rowan's still with us. Rowan's trying a little nose guard this year, so he's gonna get active.
So talk about just what you guys hope to bring to Pali football and on the field every Friday night this fall.
Yeah, so with sixth period, we're definitely putting that work in. I mean, we want it. Like we talk about all the time. It's just like we got to put it all out there. It's our senior year. Like we can't hold anything back. So all these guys. You got Brett. He's gonna play quarterback. We got Cole. Me, Jesse, Cash, Rowan. You got like even Isaiah and those guys. Like we want it. Like we're working. We're just looking for next year. Just every workout you got to put 100%, and that's kind of our mindset. Is just live in the moment, just work out and get ready for next year.
Absolutely. And with some of these 7-on-7 tournaments that will take place, that's going to help you because, we're focusing mostly on the skill position. So defense on the defensive side of the ball
Mm-hmm.
with 7-on-7s, you have the linebackers, you have the DBs, you have
Absolutely.
the safeties. And then on the offensive side of the ball, you have the QBs, the receivers, running backs, and things of that nature. So that's going to be a good time for you guys to kind of gel. And so,
Mhm.
I know that Coach Smith is going to put you guys in the proper position to do your best. And that's all you can really ask for is to go out there and produce 100% every single time that you hit the field. And so,
Yes,
um,
sir.
man, next time I'm gonna have to write down my last and final questions. But no, I appreciate you
No
hopping
worries.
on, man. Um, I know there's a question somewhere in my mind. So last question or last couple of questions. Your goals for this year, your senior year, how many tackles do you hope to get? How many interceptions? I'm looking at again, going back to your sophomore year. Of course, we played those extra games. So you were right at 82. You had 60 tackles this year. Um, and looks like both years you had 37 exactly. According to Max Preps, you had 37 solo tackles. So, what are some of your goals moving into next year? Being on that field, stadium at the sea at Pali.
Yeah, so I've been thinking about it for a little bit. Tackles wise, I'm gonna shoot for as close to 100 as I can. That's the number that's in my head. Anywhere 100 plus, I'm gonna try to get that 10 tackles a game, just one game at a time. Um, just more sacks the merrier, right? We just want to get after it.
Okay, so your mom says, Julie says, ask him how much does he eat? How much do you eat, son?
Man, anything that's on the table, I'll eat. Just
As you should. I mean,
right.
the thing for you right now, you got to put on some pounds and you got to add some muscle. So whatever you
Yes,
need to
sir.
do, hey man, just turn that thing into some muscle, and we want you to come back bigger, faster, stronger. I want to be able
Hmm.
to call your name like I was calling Evan's name just about five, six, 7 times a game. I mean,
Right? He
on
was
some
all over the place.
spectacular plays. So I'm
Hmm.
expecting, call number 5, Jake Tribatch, Trey
Let's
Batch,
go.
Trey
There,
Batch.
there you go. There you go.
See, I know in your mind you wanted to correct me, didn't you? But I had it.
Uh,
I got it. I got it.
hey, you got
Um,
it. That's all that matters.
man, man, man. Anything else, man? You want to add tonight to bring a little value to the interview tonight, or just to the football team in general?
Man, we're looking for next year. We're one workout at a time. Look at the end goal. Take enjoy the present, but we gotta get after it. We want that ring. We want to go open division. We want it all, but we got to put some work in. So I think we got it. I just think these guys we got to buy in and we got to get after it. But I think we'll be all right.
Absolutely. And with your leadership, along with some of your other teammates, some of you guys who are watching, I'm sure you guys are going to do well. Um, I always predict you guys, to be Western League winners. But we're not just satisfied with being Western League winners. We want to continue to go a little bit further, deeper into the playoffs, and ultimately give Coach Smith a championship ring.
Yes,
And
sir.
so, hey, man, just continue to work hard, and continue the good work. And not only on the football field, because being a student athlete means you got to do some work in the classroom. So before I leave you, um, what is your end goal for football? And then ultimately, what is the career path that you would like to take?
Yeah. So right now, I'm really looking to just. I mean, obviously, who wouldn't want to play in the NFL, right? But I mean, one step at a time. College is definitely looking to play in a college, and then career wise, I'd have to say strength and conditioning at some sort of football level. I really love being around just that type of atmosphere. I think that's something I really want to pursue. So I'll probably go into majoring with something to have to do with like kinesiology or something along the lines of sports medicine. So, but yeah, football wise, I'm just looking at the next level.
Absolutely, man. So, just to get you prepared, and just because I've kind of been through the same experience with my boys. If you want to get to the next level, there's always these, some of these satellite football camps. Now, it's a great place for you to make connections, but it's also a great place for you to put some defensive tools in your toolbox. So when you hit the field, you can kind of dig back and look back, because you have some tools. So I would definitely say check into some of these satellite camps. Um, for you, just continue to, if you're on Twitter, promote yourself, because it's probably one of the best ways to kind of get noticed, and
Yes, sir.
just make some connections at some of these camps, and ultimately play hard, play fast, play strong, and I'm certain that you're going to reach your dreams. But just know, D1 football, man, is I've been through it with 3 boys, and
It's
man,
not
just
easy.
some of the stories. I have my son number 2. He is at home. He just had surgery, and so a foot surgery. So
Mhm.
it's rough. It's tough, but it's not for the weary. So if you think you can make it, man, I'm pulling for you. I'm rooting for you, to get in the gym, get those weights up, play hard,
Thank
play
you.
strong, play fast, during 7-on-7s and during the season. So, man, I appreciate you hopping on, man. Any last words before we close out?
No, I think we're good. I'm just, we're ready. We're ready. Let's get that work in.
That's right. All right. So hang tight. I see my friend Reggie T. Hammond Sr. He says, "Hey, my friend. Hey, Reggie, what's going on?" And then he's like, "Hey, state championship!" Exclamation point. Jake, I mean, are you trying to get to a state championship game?
I mean, hey, absolutely, but I don't want to look too far into the future because I mean, we got to go one step at a time. That's where I feel like we kind of get caught up by looking too far. But hey, I'll take a state championship. I mean,
Because if you take a state championship, that means you got pretty close to in the local championship. So let's shoot for that. But ultimately, what we got to do, we got to take it one game at a time.
Absolutely.
Pray for no injuries. Pray for that the team can be successful on the field, off the field, and the team is dotting all I's, crossing all T's, and they're just following the path that Coach Smith has laid out. And so I know he has a plan, and so again, I'm just hoping, I'm rooting for you guys next season. Definitely during this off season, I know he's going to put you guys in the right position to do what you need to do to get better each and every single day. And then Reggie says, you definitely got to have heart in order to play that type of game. And I think you were talking about D1 kind of football. And here, just like I told Jaden last week, my man, D1 is great, but there's also D2, D3, NAIA. So you got your options. And of course, you got the JUCO route. So, just ball out, one path isn't always the, one path, might be good for others, but other folks might have to take a slightly different path. And then Reggie says, one step at a time, state championship is the goal. So maybe, have a vision board, man. Get a vision board right there in your room, put it up, put state championship, and then put all open division champs, Western League champs, and then, put your goals up there. You want 100 tackles. You want 5 sacks on the season. You want, whatever else you want.
We'll take it all, right? Yeah.
Absolutely. Hey, my man, I appreciate you. And Reggie says, at the time when I played at Pali, we were 4A. Reggie, you must have played in the 80s because I remember 4A, 3A, 2A. I didn't play. I was a student at El Camino Real over there in the Valley. So I definitely remember the 4A, 3A, 2A breakdown. So that was a long time ago, Reggie. You're telling your age. You have to be somewhere in your 50s, all right? So it's all good. So Jake, I appreciate you. Jake Treybatch, everyone. Let's give Jake some love. Hey, Jake, do me a favor. Unlike last week, I told Jaden to hang on and I would come back to him after the live stream. I'm not going to do that to you today. Hang out in the green room. I'm going to come back. We're going to chop it up. I'm going to close out the show. So don't go anywhere, okay? I appreciate you hopping on. And Reggie says 1981, season class of 1982. So there you have it. He goes back a long way. So again, Jake, appreciate you hopping on. Thanks for being with us tonight. And I'm going to close out the show. Just hang tight for me, okay?
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. Not a problem. All right, guys. So there we go. So we had a wonderful time tonight talking to Jake Treybatch, number five, outside linebacker. And, he's hoping to go for 100 tackles next season. So I know that Coach Smith and the rest of the coaching staff is going to put him in the best position for him to reach his goal. Not only him, but he's going to put the team and some of his classmates, Jesse, Cash, Rowan, Cole over there on the offensive line, Isaiah. It's going to be a wonderful time next season. So again, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me tonight. And again, I apologize for going late tonight. But next week, the goal is to go live at 6. I already have it scheduled, and I'm not too sure who we're going to have on. Coach is going to let me know probably later on in a couple of days. But hey, thanks for hanging out in another episode of This Week in Pali. And other than that, I think I'm good. As always, thanks for watching. I will catch you in the next video. And as always, go Pali. Peace and good night.
Hey, win on me, win on 3, ready, 1, 2, 3. Win! Yeah! Stop playing with a piece! Stop playing with a piece! Stop playing!